Ladies and gentlemen, how in the how we all doing today? Good. Let's just do a little bit of a sound check first because gremlins and stuff. Can you hear me? Can you see Sasha next to me? And can you hear Sasha? Hello, Sasha. How are you?
Hello, hello. I'm good. How are you doing?
Good, good. I'm waiting for we audible. We're doing awful, Craig. We're here to talk to you about all this stuff. Good, good. So some of you guys know Sasha, but Sasha is the product owner for Call the Wild, which means that he's the ultimate man that makes the decisions, the boss man, as you may of like what goes into the game. He's the guy that's got to make the hard calls on like release dates and you know, uh, yeah, basically all the buck stops with you for the project, right, Sasha?
Exactly. So every single complaint can go to me. That's basically what my job is in a nutshell.
Yeah, that's right. Except it gets filtered through me and Meg first, usually.
Yeah. I mean, I get the community side from you, all the players, like from here on the stream, and then I get the dev side, from internally. So I get both sides.
That's it. That's it. Yeah. So, some of you guys might have seen today that we've put out some announcements in social media and Discord. Unfortunately, we've had a few problems come up in CERT, which means that basically consoles can be delayed for a little bit. Would you like to touch on that for us, Sasha?
Yeah, for sure,
Um,
for sure. So, and when we first announced, I said like the date or when we were trying in July, it was always on the condition, that everything went fine through CERT, and we just saw a few issues that kind of came up. Fixes are taking slightly longer than we'd have liked to. So right now, unfortunately, it won't end in that window. But our main goal is just to get it out as soon as possible right now in a decent state.
Yeah. No, I think that's like that's what I was saying before. Is always just got to make the hard call because, and I personally, as like the meet between the dev team and the players, I think you're making the right call because if we just put the consoles out, like it is. Well, actually, I don't think they even passed with the cert, but like it would be way worse for the console players because you'd be having some of the issues that the PC players are having and stuff like that too, and it wouldn't be the quality that we like as a company here. So I just kind of, I want to try and put across that I think that the company's making the right decision here as well, just from the community point of view. Even though I know that'll be hard to swallow for a lot of the players. So
Yeah.
yeah,
And to touch on the PC side, when it comes out and we look at all the reports, that's the thing, where we try to look definitely at quality in what we're doing. And when there's certain things we're looking on PC, what's going on in different things, and we're like, okay, what's the best? Like, what can we do with a bad situation? What can we make the best out of a bad situation? And that's at least how we assess, how we thought would be the best way to move forward for everyone.
yeah, I gotcha. Now I see a few people actually in YouTube mainly saying that we're full of BS. I wish that somehow we could show you that we're not, and so I understand you're not gonna probably just take our word for it.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean,
yeah.
Matt, you're from New Zealand, right? So
Yes,
Flight of the
I
Concords,
do. Yes.
and there's the rhinoceros and the hippopotamus, and they go
Yes.
like, be more constructive with your feedback.
Please.
Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I totally
Yeah.
like we
But
actually do take feedback seriously,
yeah, we do.
and we do try to take it. So if there's anything, just like if it can be as constructive as possible, and what is bothering you and everything, like Matt, Meg, and even like other members of the dev team, to lesser extent than Matt and Meg, we try
Yes.
to go through as much feedback as possible.
Yeah. And I have to say, like, I do agree that the situation is BS, right? But what
Mm.
we're telling to you guys is just the facts, and we can't do anything about it. Like I always try and say this to you guys, it is more of a headache for us to not sim launch than it is for you guys to get delayed. I mean, we have marketing plans to ramp up, and like if they're all in one tidy package, it's much better. Everyone's on the same hype, and the sales are much better, right? And then so for delay too, it holds up further development for new products and features and bug fixes and stuff like that. Like if we could release at the same time for you guys, we'd want to do it more for our sake than your guys' sake, to be honest. So, yeah. And
Th-
there's the old just delay PC thing. Like if we had delayed PC guys, we wouldn't have been able to do extra fixes for consoles, which I think is right. That Sacha, unless I'm tripping over myself here, but I do believe like some of the actually here we go, Sasha. Are some of the issues that PC players are experiencing going to be solved in the next update for console players? Because I know.
Seamless transition.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
no, definitely. So that's the plan. Some of the things that we try to identify, based on what's been released,
Yes.
we want to put in the next updates, and the release of on console. So yeah, it's some improvements are in the next update. Is definitely planned. Do note that we're trying to contain some of the fixes initially to make sure that we don't break anything else. That's kind of like the directing line. So I would say some major issues will definitely be fixed.
Okay. Cool. That's cool. I like it. I like it. Yeah. So I mean, basically, guys, I know there's going to be a lot of angry and frustrated people out there, but I really mean it that if we could get it out for you guys at the same time, it would be doing us way more of a favor than it would be you guys as players. But sadly, it just doesn't work like that sometimes. So
Yeah, like to be to be fully transparent, right? To just be like as open as possible on a purely selfish basis, kind of what Matt is saying, or TK is like,
yeah,
we want to sim ship. Like it's easier for development because we only have to think of one release. It's easier for marketing because we don't have to like move things around in how we plan the release. And as you said, like usually, if you do everything in one go, it's better for sales and everything. So like even for purely selfish reasons, not even thinking about what you're saying, we would want to sim ship all the time.
yeah, yeah, exactly. But I mean, a lot of you guys don't know. I was player in the community for Classic before I came and joined here, and I used to be a lot like you guys. I was like, why can't Classic, because I was working on, be released with no bugs and la 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 la, and the more and more I got into this side of it, it all makes a lot more sense. And I kind of my wish is that we could actually like I don't know somehow document the production. So like I think 10% of you guys have watched it, probably bore most of you, but like so you can see how it's made and why these things pop up and why why these issues happen, I guess. So I mean, you look at like a lot of other industries and there's not really any secrecy around it, right? There's a lot of like you think about filming, they have filming about how the films are made and stuff like that, so you can see behind the scenes and CGI and stuff. But with the gaming communities, it's a little bit more top secret for some reason. So yeah, no one likes to see how the sausage is made.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very good comment. Very good comment. So yeah, I mean, someone also said, where was that on Facebook? Because I was reading before. Why don't you stop aiming to release everything at the same time? Because then it would be more honest, I think, is what the comment was, something along their lines. And I was talking to Sacha about it before, and you might as well tell him, Sacha. Like, it's just
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can jump on that for sure. So, I mean, of course, it would save us also a lot of headache, in trying to do certain things, to just say like, oh, we accept we're not going to sim ship, console's going to come later. But I think in our minds, that's the ambition that we want to have, because we are a game that is live on, PlayStation, on Xbox, and on PC. And there's not one platform that we prefer over another. So
Yeah. And
with that in mind, we want to sim ship and treat all players the same, not PC as a testing ground and not consoles as like the second class citizen that gets later. You have to also think of that, that each kind of part has, like when we sim ship, actually has a negative and a positive on each part. Which is but we will always want to sim ship to treat everybody the same way, I think.
for sure, that's it. And I think that's exactly right. If we said, okay, we're not going to aim to sim launch everything, that would actually be us truly saying that we don't value console players, which is not correct at all. So we're, like we say, we always do aim sim launch stuff, and unfortunately, it just doesn't happen sometimes. So, so yeah, there is no release date for consoles at the moment, ladies and gentlemen. If you just joined, there's a bit of a delay. Unfortunately, we met some certification issues. So
I just saw. Yeah, thanks. I had to laugh. Sorry, because I just saw a comment by Greaser50 on Twitch.
yeah,
Just saying that he's been telling TK that he would like a T-shirt with "TK is my spirit animal." I would even let TK pick out the T-shirt color.
that's a scary spirit animal to have, but I appreciate it. It's, yeah, but yeah, so that's just unfortunate, and you guys have a right to be frustrated and stuff. But the other thing too, and CEO is probably not gonna like me saying this, but remember, it's just a game, ladies and gentlemen, and go outside, get some air, breathe a little bit, because it's not really worth the stress. It's on us that it's been delayed. Don't let it get to you. Is kind of what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. And I think we never I think sometimes we read some of the comments, and all your comments are super valuable, and on we always assess our releases and everything, how things are going, delays, and kind of try to say, okay, how do we improve from everything that you're saying and everything that's been done on on how the sausage been made, as we said.
Yeah.
But we're not sometimes I feel I read some comments that we're in a room, and that we're putting our fingers together and kind of oh, how can we make the the situation so bad for our players.
That's right.
And it's really we actually take everything seriously, and we actually really appreciate the feedback. That's the only way we can improve. So make sure just continue on criticizing and being constructive on everything you say.
That's it. And just to recap too, guys, to put something out on Steam, we can just do it on the day, can't we, Sacha? Compared to consoles, which takes 2 or 3 weeks, I think.
Yeah,
roughly. Anyway.
Yeah, I mean, there's a bit more time, because obviously, but yeah, if there's a build that's working and tested and everything, technically, if it's uploaded, you can just press a button and it's out in theory.
Yeah. There we go. So just to give you guys an idea too, actually why there is, let's say 2-3 weeks delay, is just because even if it was ready the same day for PC, it still has to go out through all the certification process. So, yeah.
And I think I said the other time, I mean, I feel we're going on all these things that maybe aren't that exciting compared to the game, but anyways,
yeah.
On the. There's not it's not PC is better than consoles. It's just they're totally different. When someone buys a console, and I have a console and a PC, your expectation is if you get a game, you put it in, it's gonna run, and that's what certification is all about. It's the game can run on this platform, and it's following these rules. On PC, because there are so many different kind of parts and graphics cards and everything, PC takes another route where they actually give more freedom to the developers and more to the actual players as well, which is we're not going to tell you this is going to run on your PC, but this, you can make whatever available whenever you want.
Yeah.
So that's it caters to 2 different kinds of play style, whether you're on consoles or PC.
Yeah, that's cool.
Cyberpunk. Sorry.
Yeah, no. No, I mean, and this is the other thing too, is and because I have had consoles in the past, I don't anymore. There's been plenty of games I've had to wait for too, and much longer than the delays we've ever had here at Expansive Worlds. I think Red Dead Redemption was a year or something, wasn't it? I can't quite remember. And there's a lot of games that are developed for console first off and foremost. So it's just, like I say, it's just the way the game development works, is swings and roundabouts on either side of the equation. So and those are for teams that are 100 times the size of our team, which I think is the next little bit of a segue to put into, is some people are asking why can other devs do X and we can't, and I mean basically comes down to team size, Sash, but I think this might be a bit more of a question you can fill out a little bit more.
Yeah, I think, I guess if we're thinking of other titles, in general, I would say it has a lot to do with team size and also probably the the speed of how people are fixing and releasing things. We're quite ambitious with the team size that we have. So that it's a mix of these two things, which we're again reviewing all the time on how to get better. So how can we make sure we hit the sim ship dates? But I think you'll find very few titles, I think, with our team size, doing what we do, in how we do it. So I think you're totally right on that comment, TK.
That's cool. They're saying that you keep laughing, so it means you don't care. Actually, it's actually...
Oh, sorry.
No, but it's actually because Sacha and I've got a pretty good relationship, and I could just make him smile. I can make him blush. Do whatever,
Sorry, apologies if it comes that way. Like me and Matt have known each other for since you started, so about, 5 years.
Yeah.
So we've become quite close, I would say, over the years.
I mean, we don't really. We don't usually have a lot of serious conversations between us. Actually, it's usually just joking around and taking the mickey. So, yeah. Can I get a hoo-yah at least?
Hoo-yah.
Hoo-yah! I guess something like that.
Okay.
What's going on here? I'm trying to find something else actually in the. Why not try to certify the game on consoles before PC release? There's a good question.
So, because of how development works, we start at the same time. It's not like we have more time, so we have to start. We start on the development of everything, regardless of PC and consoles. We're like, on date X, whatever that date is, we start development for our next reserve or our next feature, and that means we don't necessarily have that extra time. The only thing it would mean is, okay, maybe we can go through certification maybe first before we release on PC, but that would also be a delay, on PC, and so it's there's no super easy solution to that. But yeah, we start development at the same time on everything, because otherwise we'd just lose time actually by starting on one specific platform first.
Yeah, that's right. Shadow Hulk. I mean, you can't compare mowing a lawn to game development, my man. I mean, mowing lawns is super easy, low-level stuff. I've done lots of horticulture. I've got 2 horticulture degrees. I got an arboriculture degree. It's just different. You're like, it doesn't work like that. If you're a lawn person, kept forgetting to do stuff, you definitely should get a new lawn person. Yeah.
Also, I saw comments on great ones and spawning rate. So we've seen a few reports on this. So we're just checking out, the different spawn rates and everything. So there's nothing really to say. That we're just checking and see if tweaks will be needed in the next update. So it's on the radar. That's specific.
Yeah, basically we're listening and we're seeing how many are getting harvested, and we'll see if any adjustments need to be made. So.
Exactly.
Yeah. Let's have a look. Oh, here we go. So Gruff Brutus, I can ask this one for Sacha actually. He was saying the same thing as, please stop saying that they'll be released at the same time. So we aim to get them out at the same time, and basically we do that because we, like Sacha was saying, we start development at the same time. We don't do PC and then we do and then do consoles. Like, it all gets made at the same time. Unfortunately, the certification process is different for the consoles, and we will always strive to sim launch stuff, because like we do actually respect every platform equally. And if we start saying, hey, console's just going to come out late and that's just the way it is, well then that's actually that's us dropping the ball on trying to look after you guys all the same. Bug fixes for Arroyo. So yeah, what have we got plans for fixes? I guess, Sacha, is a good question.
For the console release, I guess, and a PC update.
Yes, that's
kind
correct.
of thing.
Yeah.
So we're looking at a few things, and I've seen some comments on like like the fast travel issue on certain maps and these kind of things. So there are a few bugs that we're looking into. I think the known issues list is always being updated. Correct me if I'm wrong on this one, TK, but I think like we're always updating this one. And we're basically looking into like the severity of the issue and the amount of times it's reported and how we see it. And we're definitely planning some of the fixes. Some of the one of the big one I would say is that fast travel issue that's been mentioned in the chat as well that I can see.
Yeah, that's it. And let's talk about the lodge issues too. Is that
Oh yeah,
yeah, the what's happening is some of the fur variations are showing incorrectly in your lodges at the moment. The basically there's been a wires cross between the species from Leighton and Mexico, and so once we fix it, your your old animals will revert back again to what they were originally. However, if it's a whitetail or a coyote shot on Mexico here, there's a chance that the fur variation will change, and that will just change permanently. So in a way, it's a little bit of a lucky dip at the moment with what you shoot in terms of fur variation. It won't affect the trophy score or anything like that. So it's just pulling the wrong code at the moment.
yeah.
So
There was another question, kind of like like wouldn't be like doing beta testing be better than just releasing on PC? We actually do beta testing, and it's something that we're looking into quite a lot on how we improve that whole process, because a lot of actually the issues that have been we find a lot of known issues that we think, oh, we'll fix later, but there's a lot of new issues that's been coming out from going live, because we still have like quite a big game that's quite complex after 5 years of development. But just so you know, we're looking into processes on this exists, how do we make it better. So what comes out on PC is tested, and it's and I will say that usually, like the issues that you're seeing in gameplay would not necessarily be flagged by certification on Microsoft and Sony either. So that's the specific gameplay bugs is not necessarily something that comes out of certification. Just so you are aware.
yeah, that's all good. So yeah, and I think it's worth mentioning too that we actually use some external testing agencies as well, right, Sacha, to help out and to double down on the quality checks. So that should give you guys an idea of how complex it is. We've got obviously our own testers. We've got some like closed beta testers. We've got a third-party external testing group as well. So we are basically doing all the testing we can before it comes out. So.
Yeah, exactly. That's what we're doing now, and what we're reviewing quite a bit as well on how we try to catch things earlier, and a lot of things that you mentioned, like some of the big issues, those are not things that we would, had we seen it, and it's our mistake that we haven't found it, and we haven't, like there's been some issues in the process that we can see we need to improve. Had we seen it, it's not like we're whatever, we're gonna release it. We actually spend a lot of time taking like, okay, what needs to be fixed, and some of these things that you've mentioned, like the fur variation stuff on the lodges, is not something that we're like, oh, we're just gonna come out with something like this. So yeah, we're all about how can we improve, the process, especially in terms of finding and fixing issues, so it comes out at better quality.
Yeah. So there we go. That's a little bit of a look. Like I was saying, as I came from the community and then got a few rude awakenings to how game development actually happens. And like I say, I kind of wish that we could do a bit of a documentary on something just to show you guys what happens.
Yeah.
And literally, there'll be a play test and everything will be going fine, and then there's like one little issue that needs tweaking. And so they rebuild it and refix something, and then all of a sudden 5 things pop up, and this can happen at the 9th hour. It's just, it's never a guaranteed thing, game development. So,
Also, I just saw a comment which is exactly, when talking about sim shipping or not sim shipping, the other side, of like releasing on PC first and not on the same time, which was coming from Stone Hornet, which is like it always happens. PC gets first abuse with the bugs, then players on consoles get the fixed versions, and it's exactly what we get. So that's not something that we want, because on the one side we get PC players who can be unhappy because they feel like they're getting the test version, which is not true. And then the other side, we have console players that are very unhappy because it's late. So, again, we have nothing to win, and everybody like are not trying to sim ship. So we always want to try to treat everyone the same, with the best, experience possible.
That's it. How many Grade 1 racks are there, Macho Sports? We never announce sort of animal specific stuff like that, dude. Unfortunately. Yeah, Alias got it right. 99 bugs in the code. 99 little bugs. Take one down. Patch it around. 125 bugs in the code. And that's basically it. So, yeah.
I sometimes joke with one of our code leads, and I say like, our code lead, and I say it's just copy paste, right?
Yeah, that's right.
This issue, like, it works there. Why don't we just copy paste?
Yep.
Done.
The wind's terrible here. I don't think these.
Info on next gen, which we should. There's someone asking about next gen. So now it's actually, you should refer to it as current gen, because it's PS4 and Xbox One would be known as old gen, and current gen is now PS5 and Xbox Series. But I'm guessing that's what you're referring to. So for now, no plans on it, simply because the backwards compatibility on those consoles are working quite well. And it seems like something would be super easy to unlock and like do these things, but it's actually more complicated to create like essentially a new product on a new platform. It's obviously not like a whole new thing, but it requires a lot of effort, which right now we're not looking into very deeply. But we are investigating some things, but not on the radar.
Albert Trotter, it's actually the third one, mate, is that we don't know these the bugs are in the game when they're released. Well, actually, some of them we do, like the you would have seen over the like the reloading shotgun and stuff like that, and a few of the ones that the the content creators found over the week before release. So.
Yeah, I would say, I mean, we share a known issues list, right? When we release and all these things. So, like, you can like, and we do update it as time goes on based on what you're reporting. So it's we do catch quite a bit. Usually, it is a live game that we're like, oh, is this not game breaking? Is this not huge? Then we might think we're like, oh, we'll fix it later. But you can. I think in general we can think that we never want to go with something that is hugely game breaking. Then it was probably not known.
Yeah, that's it. And so like we know about lodge issues. So hopefully most of it's going to be fixed retroactively. So everything in your lodges should be reverted back to normal after the fix. Apparently sometimes the render bug is still happening, so I do believe the team is going to look into that. Kill Clinton shared a nice video with us, actually, just to, it's always nice when we can see it in video to try and work out what's happening. What else is there, Sash? I've gone blank all of a sudden.
Oh yeah, I was reading the chat, so
oh, yeah,
sorry,
no worries.
I kind of
the other stuff.
Yeah, there's a few things definitely on there.
Yeah.
There's a question on, and it's actually slightly so. Why did we change the score of the old scoring system? Animals in the lodge. It used to be a nice way to tell the difference, and I remember you said you weren't going to put the 2.0 score on already shot animals when they came out. Do you remember some of the stuff on there, TK?
Yeah, it's. Yeah. I mean, from what I understand, everything's going to get reverted back again.
Okay.
That's what I understand. It's known anyway as a Well, I reported it myself as an issue, so it's in the system.
Oh, okay, it's just talking about the. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Then
So
yeah, you're right. Yeah.
so in the last update, yeah, there was the original animals, with the OG racks, apparently now have the new scoring system on them, which I can understand is a bit confusing. So
Yeah, definitely. Okay, yeah, then I misinterpreted the question, but yeah, you're right on your answer.
Sweet.
Next great one.
Hey, wait. Let's do something fun, right? Let's stream pretty. What next great one would you guys like to see, ladies and gentlemen? Let's get a little bit of fun back in here. I mean, we've got plenty of great one bugs, Muleys, red deer, moose, red seeker moose, mule, red deer, caribou, elk. Wow, lots. Red deer seem to be. Mule deer, red deer. I think, just as a quick scan, seem to be.
Yeah, agreed. A couple rabbits in there, but I'm guessing that's a troll.
Well, I mean, I think a great one rabbit could be kind of interesting. There must be something we could do with that.
I mean, we can do great ones in theory with. I mean, I guess like. What defines a great one, which are some of the conversations we have, right? Internally, and about those, right? What is a great one?
Yeah. Because me, I mean, Sacha and I were talking about this a lot. Me personally, I want to see something that doesn't have a rack, like a big grizzly bear with scars on his face, and I don't know, his name's Ted or something like that. Just an absolute unit that hunters have been talking about for the last 8 years. And you can recognize him because he's got, a 1 meter scar down the side of his body or something where he got, I don't know, gored by a moose when he was a baby or something. Just something that speaks a bit of a story. I think it'd be kind of fun. But there's all sorts of stuff we can do with that. I think it's just important that there's something unique about them and maybe like a story or something impressive to go with them. So, but of course, this is just my opinion on the matter, ladies and gentlemen. So, but yeah, red stags and mule deer and elk, I think, were kind of the top 3 there. So
yeah, it seems a few people talking about jackalope, but again, I think that's
yeah. Hey, is there, guys? Try and keep it civil in chat. If somebody's being rude or out of line, just hopefully one of the mods see it, and we can give them a little bit of a timeout. There's no need, there's no need to be at each other's throats and stuff here.
Yeah, I think let's, as you say, keep it civil. We're open to anyone.
Yeah, that's it.
You can disagree.
Yeah, it's fine to vent here, guys. It's super frustrating for you. I understand it, but it's really important, especially to me, that you guys are actually listening to what we're saying too, And I can understand that, you probably think a lot of companies are just talking crap or whatever you want to say, but these are the facts, sadly. You can't handle the truth.
An approximate date for the next great one. TBD. TBC, to be confirmed. That's the approximate date. No, it's fine. No, we're definitely checking great ones, and I say animals, weapons, and great ones. That's always something that's I would say top of the list for us all the time. How can we update and make the current content more engaging and all these things. So I'll just say that it's definitely one that's on the radar. I see a lot of actual what, and those are I think for me that's super fun. At least that's what makes talking about the game, how to improve it as well, instead of talking about processes, because it's what we do most of the time.
Yep.
But a lot of the people now are talking what would be cool for a great one, and I think some are coming to what you were saying, a grizzly bear with scars. And I mean, I think if you have any ideas on what a great one should look like,
put a pitch together for us. We want to see it. I mean,
we're like, yeah, we
yeah.
listen to like a lot of these
Yeah,
things.
and they listen to my stupid ideas too. I mean, I found a black bear that had a toilet seat. Like, this is a real life black bear. Had a toilet seat around its head. Like, must have reached into a long drop somewhere. And so it was cruising around the bush, just like in this town. I think it was in Canada, with a toilet seat around its head. And I would love that in my trophy lodge. I'd be laughing at it every time I saw the thing. Imagine, like, just be like, "Hey, is that a black bear? What's that around its neck?" And then, that would be hilarious. But that's just me. I like a little bit of the stupid humor. So there we go. There, I mean, now you know what I've pitched. So you kind of got like a level there on, what these guys have to hear.
Exactly. We get to hear there's a toilet seats around here.
That's right. That's right. Oh, I better put the buckshot in because,
There's a couple times coming up with any word under ducks getting reworked. So that's something that I mean, there's nothing like, I don't want to be transparent. There's nothing like concrete as of right now, but it's something that we discuss, because we hear like, quite, like we do hear some things like, oh, it'd be fun to hunt ducks if they were, different. And a lot of times we sometimes get reference to our other game, which is the Hunter Classic. So it's something we have, we're investigating, but changing all behaviors and all these things also takes time. And the thing is, we also want to do it right. It's like if we change it to something that's also worse, it's like it will be double the work for us in the future. So we are taking our time a little bit on this one. To be so like it, yeah. I can't. It's not like a great one or something like this where I say like, or new animals or new maps. So I say, well, that's definitely on, something we're looking into. It's something we're taking a bit more time to put together. So there's nothing concrete yet.
Correct. Yeah. So there we go. So let's do a quick recap because I think we've probably got a whole bunch of new people in here. Game development starts at the same time for all platforms, right? So we don't develop PC and then develop console. Where it has gone wrong, I guess, is once everything goes into certification, and then it kicks back some errors and stuff. That's when it starts throwing things out of sync for us. So
exactly. Another one directly. Have you ever considered releasing a DLC pack that contains new animals for each map? So we try right now what we've done in the past, which I think we'll probably try and continue in doing, is more like instead of a DLC, it's part of like the patch where we add animals to like old reserves or old like previous reserves. So for example, the ducks that we were talking about recently, they weren't in the base release, but we did add them to the base game and kind of backfilled that way. And we have discussions on like what would make sense to add to previously reserved maps. So that's those are things we definitely think about and kind of consider.
I just got ran over by a peccary. Ran over by not a pig.
Hunt the pig.
Yeah. Right in the butt.
Seeing trail cameras has come up a couple times. I don't know. Like that's something I think would. It's personally not a mechanic that I like. I'll be honest. Like from my side, it's personally not a mechanic that I like. I think it takes out a lot of different aspects that I think that is fun with hunting and like kind of getting in there. But I'll be interested in hearing ideas on good trail camera system if you really want to.
I've already got it, Sacha. All right. So
do you?
Once we get a few more great ones into the game, I think then trail cameras will actually have a feature, and then I would like it set up so people can put in their email addresses, and then it can send. Because that's how trail cameras work in real life.
Yeah.
Or your phone, they send them your email address so you can check them. I think that'd be kind of cool if sitting in class or on the bus or whatever, checking your trail cams out from Leighton Lakes or wherever you got them set up. Just
So you think,
I think it's just a
yeah.
good way to find where the great ones are, or if there are any on the maps, So
Yeah. So
yeah,
that's interesting. I mean, why not? I mean, it's interesting, especially when you're saying, with the idea of on your phone, as you say, like, because that's how people usually use it.
yeah,
Like, how, like get a notification. That would need to be really thought through. Like in my head, I just don't want people to set up cameras everywhere, and then just be like,
yeah,
just wait until they get a notification to kind of get a great one, or
yeah.
to, like I think
We
that's the
just
chase
we
that I
just
like.
charge them, $10 per camera in game. Easy money, Sasha. Easy money.
Easy.
Yeah, no, but I'm sure we could put limits on it, like with tents and all sorts of stuff like
Yeah.
that too. I think you could probably have like 4 or 6 per map would still be not too bad. I think. I don't
Yeah.
know. We probably bounce to some of the bigger content creators that because there's a whole lot of people that really know the game inside out, and they'll be like, oh well, if you gave me 8, that'd be too easy, or
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that made make a definitely a good point.
yeah,
But it's definitely something that we think through, as well, just to say, like, on the ideas that you share. Sometimes you're like, oh, is this a good idea? And most of the time it's like, it's probably a good idea, but then would it kill the fun?
yeah,
That's always what we think, would it actually kill the fun?
yeah. I mean, it's like
Um,
cheats. Everyone uses
yeah,
cheats. Game gets boring really fast. You go leave.
yeah,
So we don't want that happening.
yeah. So, but it's no, it's I really enjoy, like, those things of, like, feature ideas, and I mean that's the most fun about, like, game dev, right? It's like, how to make a new feature, what do you make, that people would like, that's like the most exciting part of the whole thing.
Yeah, of course. Now that's cool. I think there's still a lot of stuff to be added to the game, and I'm excited to see where it goes.
Yeah, for
we
sure.
ain't going nowhere. We ain't going no anyway.
There's someone I have to say, there's like, how about some creativity and put falconry in the game? And like I mean, it would be huge, and it's super cool. Just so you know, like, our lead producer, his parents actually are into, like, falconry and, like, hunting with falcons.
Cool.
So it's something that that comes up, now once in a while, like, how do you do it? But it's I'm not saying it's. I mean, it's just interesting just to have, like, some anecdotes from the team, but it's definitely not in the plans right now. It would be huge to do, like, something like this, really, really big.
Yeah, it would be. I think like my eyes were like saucers when I saw, like, this bird taking down a roe deer. Like, the falconry videos on YouTube are amazingly impressive. Just I did not know that a bird could take a roe deer. I just thought a roe deer is too big, basically. But no. So
They're such beautiful birds as well.
yeah,
Like, I think,
and like really tough, man. Like, you watch some of them, they just tackle a deer and roll around and get kicked and stuff like that, and just don't seem to bother them too much. So
yeah.
But being able to buy ammo in bulk, that would be amazing, Frazzalicious. Yeah, like in real life, you just buy a big block of ammunition instead of having to buy, 5 rounds at a time or 10 rounds or something. Right, well, I'm just going to keep kind of unlocking some of the map here and keep chatting.
Yeah. I mean, I have to ask you. Actually, I haven't had the chance to ask you. What's your favorite part of the map?
The new map?
Yeah.
I really actually like the hilly section. I think it's kind of beautiful, and I like hills in real life too for some reason. So, yeah, I think I like the hilly sections. It kind of feels like, quite. I don't know what the term is for it, but I like the big ravines and the valleys and stuff like that. And I like walking along the ridge lines. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I really like how we could get the sunset effect working really well on this map. I think it's probably one of the most beautiful maps. If you just take in terms of, like, beauty, simple beauty, I think it's probably one of the most beautiful map that I think we've done. There's always parts of each map, when you go back, you're like, oh, I wish we took this from that map, and, like, this from this one, and like it's always. I have a hard time as well. Just I can find something I really like about a map, but I have a really hard time finding my favorite map. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, people always ask me stuff like that, and I'm not really one for favorites at all, to be honest. Like, what's your favorite color? Well, what are we talking about? Car or a chair or wall color? I mean, you can't have the same thing on everything. And it's the same as like I just like, oh, I feel like hunting blah 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 today, so I'm gonna go out on blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I think one thing that I really like, I think it's Yukon, where like that opening scene with the plane.
yes.
Like again thinking of just like different. That's like my favorite opening scene we've ever done.
Do you know what gets me? You got us the music. God,
Yeah.
it's such good music there. Like just tugs at my heartstrings. That one.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
exactly, and as you said, like then it depends what you want. Like on. I guess now if you'd want to, let's say, hunt pheasants and flush birds, then you'd go to Mexico, right?
Yes.
But if you want to do like it just plays differently.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. And yeah, I mean it's nice. It's really hot in this room, so I actually feel like I'm in Mexico at the moment.
Yeah.
I mean that's the other thing too. Actually, on classic and stuff too, is that the cold weather places, man, actually like it shivers down your spine when the wind's howling and stuff like that. It's something quite special about it.
Yeah.
All right, see if we can get some pheasants going here. Where's that whitetail again? Yeah, I like the new sounds, and I think the new animals look really pretty too. Pretty.
Yeah.
They're just an upgrade, I should say.
Yeah, I wonder if yeah, I'll say it anyway. So we have an artist on the team, and he was in charge of making the peccary, and he told the team that his goal was to make it like obviously look as real as possible, but on the cute side, so that people would have a hard time hunting it. Just for making. No, we obviously went with the most realistic we could go. Like it's like those things we kind of discuss sometimes. On like how would it be fun, to do different things.
Yeah. I gotcha. Well, why not, right?
Yeah.
I'm just gonna try and load this thing before I get close to pheasants.
It's those things we discuss. Like how do we make like first like April Fools kind of thing. Kind of come out like how would we play around?
Yeah. I mean, I've told you, I just want, like, people to load up the game one day and all their callers just make stupid sounds.
Yeah. I'm hoping we could do, like, if you, like, back in the old cartoons now, when, like Looney Tunes stuff, when they shot a gun and then it had a flag come out that just said boom or bang.
Yeah.
That's what, something like this as well, I think.
That'd be gold. That'd be hilarious. Yeah, I just think it'd be funny to pick up the the road air caller and use it. And it's like Aruga or something, and then you pick up another caller and it's something else. It's silly the same, just for a day, maybe a week.
Yeah. Release date? No release date yet. Just I see a few times for console and all these things. Mainly, we just want to make sure that we don't do the same. I would say this service, that we've done initially. Where like, okay, if everything goes fine, this is the date, or the window. For now, we want to make sure that we have something ready, and then when it's ready, we can say, well, it's going to take this long to actually be out to all of you. So no exact date, just know it's as soon as possible. That's what we're working on right now.
That really sounded like a bobcat more than a bighorn sheep. Just gonna say. Can you fix the gun from shooting the blanks? That is on our list fix as well, actually. So. But I don't know if you guys know you can get around it. Just like every time you change ammo or whatever, just tap R before you shoot. Basically, it's not putting one in the chamber, if that makes any sense. If you guys know about firearms in real life, it's just not putting a round in the chamber. So you got to get it to pump pump around into there.
Yeah. There's one question that I actually want to throw at you, Matt, which is any tips on someone who dreams to get a great one?
Me? Jeez, you're asking the wrong person there. I mean, I think most people know this. I don't power game. I just run around and shoot things, have fun. If you want tips on the great ones, there's lots and lots of good YouTube videos out there at the moment. I highly recommend going to have a look. I think Lady Legends got some good ones out at the moment, with a guy called Grim who was the first person to get 3 on an Xbox, and create a huddle out of it. So yeah, but there's if you want like game in the game, then I think me personally, it's a dangerous road to go down. I think it can kill a little bit of the enjoyment for me. So I just play the game to have fun. If I come across something fun, it's even more of a surprise. Yeah.
No, I agree. There's videos, and I mean, there's a few like skills and perks that you might want to pick. That are more suited to like get the information that you need. But yeah, there's some good videos. In general, I would say it is like it is the grind.
Yes.
That.
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
Yeah, and that they were actually never put in the game, with the intent for people to grind them. Of course, that was just going to happen, right? People want one. It was kind of the idea of the great one is that there's always something else out there that you might come across, just to kind of, enrich the game and give it a bit more depth as well. So.
Yeah, exactly. And to be clear on the grind, it's not like the more you play, the more likely you will get one. It's still like it's all played, in terms of like rarity, right? We still want it to be like this rare thing, but in theory, you could be a whole new person and see a great one in your first session.
Correct.
So there's no such thing as like we reward people for playing more, and therefore they will get more great one spawns. That's how it came out. So the grind would just mean like because it's based on rarity, like in real life, just the more you play, the more likely you are, like with anything rare, to find one.
Yeah, so yeah, that's right. It is a true random thing, and of course, people know. If you shoot animals, it promotes new animals to spawn. So that's kind of what a lot of the grinding technique is based off, without getting into it too much.
Question around cosmetics, and and like these are things that we're considering. We have to see what works best for the game, but definitely. Thinking of what would be best, in terms of customization. Like nothing yet on this one, but it's on the table of things that we discuss relatively often.
Need zone filters is a huge request in the community. That and loadouts, I think, too.
Yeah, loadouts came out of
Yeah, I think both of those would be a. I definitely know loadouts would help a lot, right?
Yeah, it's loadouts. I'd say like the need zones for sure. I think that's a good one. I would, like not at least not right now, but loadouts is definitely something like I think on like when we talk about like quality improvements, that's one that comes out quite often. Make it just the experience more enjoyable, and one of them is loadouts. So yeah, keep on requesting those things, and we see when we can actually make it fit into our schedule based on all the requests and everything that we need to do. But it's always great to just have like we're like 5 years in, and there's still like so much things we can do. So it's awesome to see like everyone still so engaged, in everything we do.
Yeah, there's definitely no shortage of ideas coming from the community. That's for sure.
No.
Are well and truly invested. Chokes for shotguns. Noah Osland. I mean, that'd be kind of a fun play, but like actually, I need to go and check that. But I think the zeroing distance kind of works like a choke on this in this game, I should say. Can we?
Sorry.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
No, someone's asking for more surveys. But I was just going to quickly say we just put them out as needed, basically, because you know.
Yeah. I mean, we try as needed. We're actually checking on all these things on how we improve. Asking you and one of the tools we have or what we use is surveys. So we try not to spam you though too much, because otherwise people were like, why you keep on asking me all these things? Because all this information we then need to digest it, and do something about it. So it's like investigate and we want to make sure we don't ask too much as well on that sense.
I think I missed all those. I think I went over the top of them because I had it on 75 meters.
Talk about the new survey. Now we're talking. I'm guessing it's the one about the animals that we sent out.
Yep.
Yeah. So it's just, it's just questions around the animals, and your thoughts on, the animals that are in the game, how they look, and all these things. So it's a pretty general one in regarding our animal roster and how they look.
$100. What color T-shirt would I pick for the spirit animal T-shirt? Probably black. I think it's like the New Zealand's kind of team color,
Ooh. All blacks.
That's right.
So, I guess you all know TK. I guess Kiwi is from New Zealand. I'm from France. The only sport we have in common, that we would have some sort of rivalry is rugby, but it's not even fun because the All Blacks are just so much better.
But you guys are our Achilles heel, You've beat us a lot at crucial times.
15, now it's maybe 15, 20 years ago. I think the French team has decreased significantly.
Yeah. What was his name? Chevelle? What's his name?
Chabal.
Chevelle, yeah. The big unit of a man.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, most of the people in here are probably like, rugby what? So.
Yeah.
Right in the butt. Alright, I'm going to run up here. We've got 2 minutes left, so I'm going to unlock the stuff up here. I'll put the bird shot back in. I got a feeling. Try and reload it, but it doesn't seem to need it. Next True Rack update, Sacha. We got any news out? Because we usually kind of let people know, but I think it's a bit early.
Yeah, I think it's a bit early. I would say that that's one thing that at least I can say. It's something that we work on, and at least getting what's called the models, right? How they look first. So we've been working on actually quite a lot of animals in that sense, but that's just the first part. So we're working on it in the background, but it's a bit too early to say, what's the next one, which one we're working on. But there's technically a few in the bank or that we're working on right now, in theory. Springboks are the best rugby team. I'm not going to go into...
No, I mean, it sparked me for a second. I was just like, who's got the most World Cups? I think we just leave it at that. The weird thing too is I don't really get into rugby anymore these days. If there's a World Cup, I'll get into it, but I think it got well overplayed in New Zealand. It just became a big commercial sort of enterprise, really. I mean, gone are the days where guys are picked for their talent. There's no way you're telling me that there's no ugly guys with a whole lot of talent anymore. It's just a whole bunch of guys are pretty here, and they do have skill, that's for sure. But I think if you look at the 80s All Blacks team versus the 2000s, it's definitely a big change. So
Just in terms of, I guess I'm seeing a few comments on the spawning and all these things. Just so you're aware, like again, this is something that we're looking into, at least just checking, what's coming out of it. But I see a few comments on it. It's definitely something that we're checking to see how it's going.
There we go. I see some Grim. Keep your player base by having them disable Hunt Club immediately. I can't stress this enough. So, Grim, what is that in reference to? Is that messing up trophy lodges, or what is the go with that? Right. How far away is that? 400 would run back down there too. Got a little bit of time. Oh, it's 5 o'clock actually.
Oh,
I went fast.
time flies.
That's right. So you guys think the Hunt Club is messing up the population? This is literally the first time I've heard about this.
Same here. The specific one.
How is it? How? Because I don't even think the Hunt Club is connected to spawns, unless they've done something different.
I don't want to talk on the exact
No.
details without knowing, so I don't want to spread wrongful information. But I think noted, and again, like on these spawn things, we'll check it out. Right now, at least when mentioned like this, as you said, like I'm not sure how
Yes.
it would, but we'll check it out.
Yeah, I gotcha. I mean, what is it doing basically, Grim? Like, give us. This is where it's like helpful if you give us kind of pointers and stuff, so we can start testing and know where to look. Because at the moment, you're just saying a fixed population. That's quite a big statement. Like, what is the populations? Do you think it's affecting? Is it doing numbers? Is it doing weirdly high? You know what I mean? Doing too many rears, or what's it actually doing? Oh, there we go. So people are saying with Hunt Club turned off, it's allowed more animals in my zones. Well, I could test that pretty easy, I suppose, too. And yeah, so with it on, it's only does and stuff. Interesting.
Yeah, interesting. I mean, that's good. Okay, that helps. I think. Let's follow up, I guess, you and ITK as well on how.
Trying to get some more information. Thank you for that. See, things like that. It's helpful. It's good. Just to make what was it like? The teacher brings out a good student. This is how you put forward an issue and a complaint. He could have gone, fix your beeping Hunt Club. It's messing up the beeping this and that. But came across in a good light, and we got some of the information, and we can probably go ahead and have a look into that pretty easy. I think so.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, it's like all these things, and usually it might seem boring, but the more information we have, the more we're actually able to, what's called like reproduce it, which is make it happen for us as well. Because sometimes it's the biggest issue sometimes we have. We're like, well, we have no idea how to actually make your issue happen for us.
Yeah.
And if we can't make it happen, we basically can do, you would say like the reverse thinking of like, okay, this is happening when I do all these steps, so I need to check all the steps that I've made, what's broken. So yeah, the most information as possible is appreciated, and then we can do it's easier for us and faster to investigate.
That's it. I mean, to be honest with you, it sounds like one of those issues that probably slowly gets dribbled out information-wise, because a lot of people are probably using it to their advantage, I imagine. I mean, I haven't seen it on any of the Facebook stuff. I haven't seen it in the content creators. I haven't seen it in the beta testers. I haven't seen it anywhere. So that's the first time I'm hearing about it today. So maybe specific, communities know about it. But yeah. All right, that's well and truly past, stream time. Thank you very much, Sacha, for joining us. I appreciate it. Oh,
Thank you for having me.
How long has your head been cut off? You guys didn't tell me Sacha's...
Oh, yeah.
You guys didn't tell me Sacha's head got cut off.
I'm just so big.
It's so huge. Big French man. There we go. But yeah, it's all good. Hey, thank you very much, everyone. Go to menus and now turn it off and see yourself. It's night and day. Do you have to restart the game afterwards, Grim? Anyway, get in touch with me, Grim. Let's sort this out offline. Thank you very much, everyone. Again, apologies about the console stuff, but, we're just being upfront and honest with you about it all. So, yeah. Catch you later, everyone. Thanks for joining, Sacha.
Thank you.
Boy.
Bye-bye.